The Russian Revolution refers to a series of political and social upheavals that took place in Russia between 1917 and 1923. It was a pivotal event in world history, leading to the collapse of the Russian Empire and the establishment of the Soviet Union, which later became the first communist state in the world. The revolution had profound and far-reaching consequences, not only for Russia but also for the global political landscape of the 20th century. The Russian Revolution can be broadly divided into two phases: the February Revolution and the October Revolution. The February Revolution, which occurred in February 1917, according to the Julian calendar in use in Russia at the time, or March 1917 according to the Gregorian calendar, began as a spontaneous uprising in Petrograd, now St. Petersburg, and quickly spread throughout the country. It was largely fueled by widespread discontent with the autocratic rule of Tsar Nicholas II, exacerbated by food shortages, economic hardships, and the heavy casualties suffered by Russia in World War I. Under pressure from the masses, Nicholas II abdicated the throne, ending centuries of Romanov rule and leading to the formation of a provisional government. This interim government, composed primarily of liberal politicians, aimed to establish a democratic system in Russia. However, it faced numerous challenges and was unable to address the deep-seated problems faced by the country. The Bolshevik Party, led by Vladimir Lenin, capitalized on the popular discontent and growing disillusionment with the provisional government. They advocated for an overthrow of the capitalist system and the establishment of a socialist state. The October Revolution, which took place on October 25, 1917, Julian calendar, or November 7, 1917, Gregorian calendar, marked the Bolshevik seizure of power. In a swift and relatively bloodless coup, the Bolsheviks stormed the Winter Palace in Petrograd, the seat of the provisional government. Following the October Revolution, the Bolsheviks set about consolidating their power. Lenin and his comrades established the Russian Soviet Federative Socialist Republic, RSFSR, which would later become the largest constituent of the Soviet Union. The new government faced numerous challenges, including opposition from anti-Bolshevik forces, known as the Whites, and a devastating civil war that lasted from 1918 to 1922. The Reds, led by the Bolsheviks, emerged victorious, albeit at a great cost in terms of human lives and economic destruction. The Russian Revolution resulted in profound changes in Russian society. The Bolsheviks implemented a series of radical policies, including the nationalization of industry, the collectivization of agriculture, and the redistribution of land. They also pursued a program of social reforms, granting rights to women, promoting literacy, and introducing free healthcare and education. However, the revolution also led to a centralized and authoritarian regime, with the Bolsheviks suppressing political dissent and establishing a one-party rule. Internationally, the Russian Revolution had a significant impact. It inspired revolutionary movements and leftist ideologies around the world, particularly during the early 20th century. The Soviet Union, under the leadership of the Bolsheviks, became a major global power and a rival to the capitalist West during the Cold War. The revolution also had a profound influence on the course of world history, shaping geopolitical dynamics, ideological conflicts, and social movements for decades to come. Here are some additional key points and details about the Russian Revolution. Causes of the Revolution. The Russian Revolution was the culmination of long-standing social, political, and economic tensions in Russia. The country's rigid social hierarchy, widespread poverty, agrarian crisis, and the autocratic rule of the czars contributed to growing discontent among the masses. Role of World War I. Russia's involvement in World War I further exacerbated the existing problems. The war put a strain on the economy, resulting in food shortages, inflation, and widespread suffering. Military defeats and the high number of casualties on the Eastern Front eroded support for the government and weakened its authority. Role of Bolsheviks and Vladimir Lenin. The Bolshevik Party, led by Vladimir Lenin, played a central role in the revolution. Lenin's revolutionary ideology, encapsulated in his writings and speeches, provided a blueprint for a socialist revolution. His call for peace, land, and bread resonated with the working class and peasants, who formed the backbone of the Bolshevik support base. Dual power and the provisional government. After the abdication of Tsar Nicholas II, a power vacuum emerged, resulting in a dual power structure. The provisional government, led initially by liberals and later by socialists, shared power with the Petrograd Soviet, a council representing workers and soldiers. This arrangement created tensions and struggles for authority. Bolshevik seizure of power. The October Revolution, led by the Bolsheviks, marked the overthrow of the provisional government. The Red Guards, a paramilitary force loyal to the Bolsheviks, seized key points in Petrograd, and the Winter Palace was stormed. The Bolsheviks established the Soviet government, with Lenin as its leader. Civil War. The Russian Revolution triggered a bitter civil war between the Red Army, Bolsheviks, and the White Army, composed of various anti-Bolshevik groups. The war was fought across the vast territory of Russia and involved foreign intervention from countries opposed to the Bolshevik regime. The Red Army eventually emerged victorious, solidifying Bolshevik control. Treaty of Brest-Litovsk. In 1918, the Bolshevik government signed the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk with Germany, effectively withdrawing Russia from World War I. The treaty ceded large territories to Germany and its allies, causing territorial losses and fueling nationalist sentiments. New Economic Policy, NEP. Following the end of the Civil War, the Bolsheviks implemented the New Economic Policy, a temporary retreat from full-scale socialism. The NEP allowed for limited free market activities, private enterprise, and small-scale agriculture, aiming to revive the war-ravaged economy. Creation of the Soviet Union. In 1922, the RSFSR, along with several other Soviet republics, formed the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, USSR, commonly known as the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union would go on to become a superpower and exert significant influence on global affairs for the next several decades. Long-term impact. The Russian Revolution and the subsequent establishment of the Soviet Union had far-reaching consequences. Internally, it brought about a radical transformation of Russian society, promoting industrialization, urbanization, and a new social order. Externally, it led to ideological and geopolitical divisions, fueling the rise of communism as an international movement and contributing to the development of the Cold War between the Soviet Union and the Western powers. These points provide a broader understanding of the Russian Revolution and its historical significance. Overall, the Russian Revolution was a complex and multifaceted event, marked by political upheaval, social transformation, and ideological struggle. Its legacy continues to be debated and analyzed, with its impact felt not only in Russia but throughout the world.